Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an Airbus pilot, and welcome back to another A321 Real Ops. Today flying the Condor A321 on flight 1622 from Düsseldorf to Rhodes. This is going to be an exciting one since we are going to fly a very heavy aircraft into a visual approach at our destination airport. And we'll really try to do it right with the standard AFCOM visual approach, if ATC permits it. ATC is a very good point, by the way. We are going to use today's sponsor, Say Intentions AI. If you're looking for an ATC add-on that is not only capable of doing your standard IFR A to B flight, but also things like data link, VFR, and that even has some gimmicks such as cabin crew announcements using your SIMRI flight plan data, then look no further than Say Intentions. If you like what you're going to see in today's video, then be sure to check them out using the link in the pinned comment and in the video description below. And with that out of the way, let's get straight into our Airbus A321. And before we go into the cockpit, just mentioning it, this is a beautiful repaint, including all the details of the aircraft, like specific custom Condor logos everywhere, even on the door, which they really do have. And of course you have those lovely stripes in the cabin as well. So if you're looking for a Condor feeling, then this is exactly what you're after. Alright, and with that out of the way, let's get right into our cockpit and take a seat in our A321 Delta Alpha Charlie Tango Foxtrot. Now, we'll start with the basics over here, and that's going to be the preliminary cockpit preparation. That's the engine master levers off, start selector norm, weather radar is off, landing gear lever down, wipers off. We have at least 25.5 volts on both batteries, then we can turn those on, and the external power on as well. While we're waiting for the aircraft to boot up, let's head over into the electronic flight bag and import our SIMRI flight plan. And then we can check out our plan down here. So weather charts, let's give it a moment here. You can see it's a fairly straight route that we're going to fly all the way to the destination, and we only have an area of CBs over here across Croatia, but we should be able to fly a beam that, and that's really all there is. In terms of airport weather, everything is wonderful as well. Runway 23 in use in Düsseldorf, 27 degrees. And
runway,
at our destination
awareness,
in Rhodes,
okay.
we got
meters,
clear skies, 30 degrees, a little bit of wind, and the same thing in the forecast, with runway 24 being in use. Our first alternate is course, and the weather in course is beautiful as well. So with that in mind, let's head into the operational flight plan. An on-time departure at 0350. Got to be careful that we don't take off before 0400, because that's when the night curfew lifts. Means an arrival 10 minutes early. So, A321 is correct. Condor 1 Alpha Zulu will be the call sign. We are uncritical for our weights and cruising in, well, most likely level 350 straight away, as Dinku is rather close to our top of climb anyway. Let's see that down here. Yeah, top of climb at 23, and then 6 minutes until we do our step climb, so probably flight level 350 straight away. With that in mind, let's head down into our fuel section, and they basically want us to take 12 tons. And to be totally honest, that means we are going to arrive at about 2.6 plus the contingency 2.9. But nah, I want a little bit more. It's an A321 and we are rather heavy today, so let's just add some 500 kilos to that. So we are going to take 12.5 tons of fuel for today's flight. That's just because otherwise we are going to be so low on fuel when we arrive, which I'm not really a fan of. So 208 passengers, 3,120 kilos on the cargo, 12,500 kilos fuel, apply and load, and we'll be using GSX for both loading and fueling. And with that in mind, let's go ahead and get our aircraft powered. So power is on, then we can turn our ADRs on 1, 2, and 3. APU fire test. Come on. It's looking good. Delivery 12178. We can pre-select that. Here we go, and listening to VHF 1, 2, and the interphone. Speakers somewhere on the middle. Alright, now 20 degrees at the moment. I don't really want to turn the APU on just yet because Düsseldorf, they have all their noise things. So Just gotta be a little bit careful there. Now down to our MCDU. Let's go into the ATSU and then AOC menu, flight init, and initialize data request. Now we're just gonna wait for this to arrive, and while we're waiting we can head back into the EFB and complete that preparation. So charts, we've got Düsseldorf and it's automatically pinned those, lovely. We do still need our parking stamps though, and then we also need the ANAF copy of the departure chart, which is over here, lovely. Alright, beautiful. So that's our charts already prepared. We can take the daylight charts. I mean, it's bloody early, it's like 5:30 in the morning at the moment, but hey, that's what you get for flying in a holiday airline. Okay, cool, so our flight plan has initialized. Then let's go back down here into the received messages. 2 load sheets, we don't need that second one, but we do need that first one. Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, Düsseldorf Rhodes, Alpha Tango Charlie Fox, 2 pilots, 5 cabin crews. 0 fuel weight is close to 70 tons, wow. Okay, but the limiting factor is actually the landing weight, as we can see right over here. So 208 passengers, and the rest of that stuff is looking good. 100% water quantity, and last but not least, fuel in tanks 12.5. Looks good, let's accept that. And then we can just do our initial FMS setup here. So A321-200 CFM56 engines, nav database is up to date. Then let's go to the init and press init request, and let's have it do its thing. So with that in mind, we can go into our performance. Düsseldorf 23 left is correct, it's a dry runway. We can synchronize the preliminary load sheet, we can keep the weather, intersection Lima 1, and performance limit 94 tons, easy going. Okay, I like that. Then let's go down into the ECAM. Oxygen pressure is checked, hydraulic quantities are checked, engine oil quantities are good. The flaps are retracted and match with the lever, ground spoilers retracted. Let's test the ultimate brakes, parking brake released, and that's looking excellent. Alright, and parking brake is set again. Wonderful, and that's the preliminary cockpit preparation complete, so let's start with the cockpit preparation procedure. So, crew supply on, flight recorder ground control on, CVR test. Come on. Sounds good. Evacuation on captain only. So strobe lights auto, nav lights auto. Refueling is still in progress, probably for a while, so we'll leave the seatbelt sign turned off. Also leave the fuel pumps turned off. And that's looking good. Then let's check engine number 2. It's also looking good. And the right side is checked as well. Nothing up here on the upper overhead panel. Then we can move down into the main panel. Let's see about the QNH 1023. Set, and down here everything's set. We've got the 17th of June 2025. Alright. So 121605 will be ground frequency. 1215 is active, 12378 is the ATIS. Here we go, lovely. So ground cloud suppression on, gain calibrated, and the rest is looking good. And here everything's good, everything's good. Then let's go right into our FMC. Okay, so let's bring up the SimBrief plan over here and type all that stuff in. Now, if you are wondering why you don't see me doing anything with a mouse over here, that's because I've just got my WinWing Airbus MCDU, and I'm using that to type everything in on the physical unit here. Nonetheless, I will of course talk about what's going on. So, call sign, Condor, 1 Alpha Zulu, enter, cost index 15, cruise flight level will be 350, and the temperature up there is going to be minus 53 degrees. Alright, ground temperature at the moment plus 20, we can see that on the ECAM down there. So, departing Düsseldorf, runway 23 left, Doden 1 Tango departure, and insert and then arriving in Rhodes via the VOR Zulu runway 24, at least for our flight plan, that is. Codec to Golf arrival is what they've planned. Alright, and insert. Now let's have a look at what we've just programmed. Departing Düsseldorf, 23 left. Let's actually see if using that hardware unit brings up some new possibilities, because now we can actually see the chart and the ND at the same time. And I can still operate it through my physical MCDU. So we're going to fly straight ahead to Delta Lima 239, which is above 3,000 feet. Then a left turn Delta Lima 241, Delta Lima 242 above flight level 150. Then we continue towards Elbal, Betzo and Doden above level 250. And that's all checked down here. Now let's add the emergency waypoint, Düsseldorf X3. And that's going to be based on the runway track Düsseldorf 23 left /230/25 miles, and insert. Alright, now for the secondary flight plan. We got Düsseldorf X3, insert, and hold 230 right turns, looks good. The time is 1 minute, I like it. And then immediate return to Düsseldorf. And arrival runway 23 left, ILS approach, no star, and no via. Alright, so for the performance page, let's just set up our immediate return. We set the QNH as 1023, temperature 20, and the wind is calm. Minimum's 340, and the rest will be calculated automatically later on. Alright, so back to the primary flight plan and the fix info page. Düsseldorf 23 left, radial 230, and Düsseldorf X3. Alright, so then on to the init page, and for that let's open our load sheet on the second flight plan. Like this. So zero fuel weight is 69.4, and the CG 27.1, fuel 12.5. Now let's get the flight plan back out. Average tailwind 4 knots. For the fuel, reserve 0.3, alternate 1.4, and final 1.3. Alright, taxi 0.2 is correct. Looks like GPS, looks like our IRS alignment is complete. And then let's enter our departure data. So that's going to be a config 2 takeoff at 47 degrees. And the takeoff speeds will be 143, 148, 149. So, acceleration and reduction 1000, engine out acceleration 1500, takeoff shift 200 meters. And that's it. On the progress page we can enter our departure runway, Düsseldorf 23 left. And we've got an optimum in 340, maximum 362, so yeah, we'll definitely go to level 350 initially. Well, and that's our FMS pretty much complete. The last thing we would do now is to go onto the pilot's routes, store that one, let's say we'll call it Düsseldorf Rhodes, store, and as we can see that's bugged, doesn't work, so yeah, that's what we would use to cross-check the flight plan and that it agrees with our route. But okay, if that's what we have, then that's what we have. So let's go ahead and request our clearance. So ATC request, pre-departure clearance. Gate is Bravo 09. Station Echo Delta Delta Lima. Moin. Now let's get the ATIS. Why did it change my frequencies? I checked that one earlier, didn't I? God, this simulator.
On TACT you have information Victor. Düsseldorf Airport. Information
That was easy.
Victor. 1620
Okay,
Zulu.
sent.
Wind 355 at 3. Cav OK. Temperature 27. Dew point 11. QNH 1023. Density altitude 1300 feet. Arriving runways 23 left, 23 right. Departing runway 23 left. Transition level 65 advise on course heading, altitude, and if traffic service is requested. Read back all runway and hold
Thanks, we've heard what we wanted to hear. And look at that, it's killed my other radio as well. Just lovely. Okay, cool. So FCU is set. Turn from cockpit. Mind your ears, oxygen chest. So that's looking good. Now we're 10 minutes prior to our
boarding has
scheduled
started
time.
and the first passengers are aboard the plane.
Danke, Mara. Okay,
Ladies and
refueling
gentlemen,
is complete.
welcome aboard Condor Flugdienst Flight 1622, departing from Düsseldorf and heading to Diagoras. We kindly ask you to take your seats according to your boarding passes and stow your hand luggage in the overhead bins or under the seats in front of you.
Aha, now clearance is here
If
as
you need
well.
any assistance, please don't hesitate to contact our friendly crew members who are here to help you.
So,
Also, I'd like to mention that on June 28th and 29th,
cleared to Diagoras
members
via
of the
Don
Say
One Tango
Intentions cabin
departure,
crew
which
will
is
be participating in the
confirmed.
Flights and
Maintain
Expo
5000, set.
and we invite you to come and talk to
By
us.
departure 1 to
Thank
8
you for
decimal
choosing to fly with us
655.
today.
Let's tune that as a little reminder up here. Okay, 128655, first squawk 2245, runway 23 left. Alright, Wilco and send. Dortmund Tango is confirmed, squawk 2245. Here we go. Lovely, and that's received by ATC. Normally I would hit print, just so that we have a copy of this. But if we need to find it, it's on the ATC com page. No, not the AOC message. That's interesting, not supposed to go there. ATC com. Huh. Okay, let's do it this way. Atsu. Interesting, I cannot access the CPDLC. Oh, that's probably because it's open on the other FMC. Alright, let's try that again. So, ATC com. Well, MCDU menu, Atsu. Here we go. ATC menu and message record. That's why we can find it. So if we need the clearance, here it is. Okay, in any case, that's a little bug up here. The Wilco doesn't show completely. In any case, that's our clearance confirmed, so let's go for the briefing, please. Alright, thanks. So we are an A321 today. Düsseldorf runway 23 left, Dortmund 1 Tango. Initial 5000, the sit straight ahead, engine out sit also straight ahead. Now MSA 2400, extra fuel and time 17 minutes, 600 kilograms, which is pretty much exactly the extra fuel that we uplifted. Lovely. Alright, cool. So we are departing 23 left. There are no hotspots for our taxi routing. Stop margin just a couple meters. Unfortunately, our takeoff performance calculator doesn't tell us how much it is, which is really a pity because, well, it's part of the standard Airbus briefing. In any case, engine out sits straight at 25 miles, Düsseldorf X3, which is set both on the secondary flight plan where I've prepared the immediate return for runway 23 left, as well as on the fixed info page down here and down here. Alright, above the maximum landing weight, so overweight landing procedure as applicable, and I have nothing special or non-standard. Do you see any threats for today's departure? No? Okay, lovely. So that's our briefing complete. Then let's do the cockpit preparation checklist, please. So that's gear pins and covers removed. Fuel quantity 12,500 kilos balanced. Seatbelts on, ADRs, nav, barorev, QNH 1023. Cockpit preparation checklist complete. Alright then, let's have a look at the process of our boarding. So all guests are on board. Basically they should be finished. So what's going on? Are they still loading? Well, must be about finished any moment. In any case, let's say good morning to our passengers. Liebe Fluggäste, einen schönen guten Morgen aus dem Cockpit. Hier spricht Ihr Kapitän. Mein Name ist Emanuel, im Namen der Condor darf ich Sie ganz herzlich an Bord unseres Airbus A321 auf unserem Flug nach Rhodes begrüßen. Wir erledigen jetzt noch die letzte Papierarbeit, das letzte Gepäck wird gerade verladen und dann werden wir uns pünktlich auf den Weg machen. Wir erwarten heute einen ruhigen Flug mit einer Länge von circa 3 Stunden und 10 Minuten. Wir melden uns am Anflug dann mit dem neuesten Wetter. In der Zwischenzeit lehnen Sie sich zurück und genießen Sie den Flug mit uns. Wenn es etwas gibt, womit wir Ihnen diesen angenehmer gestalten können, zögern Sie nicht, sich an unsere charmante Flugbegleitung zu wenden. Vielen Dank für Ihre Aufmerksamkeit. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emanuel, and in the name of Condor, I would like to welcome you on board our Airbus A321 on our flight to Rhodes. Today's flight time will be approximately 3 hours and 10 minutes. We expect a smooth flight and an on-time arrival. We are just loading up the last pieces of luggage and we are now finishing the last paperwork. Then we will start our pushback on time and we expect a smooth flight with an on-time arrival. For the time being, sit back, relax and enjoy the flight with us, and if there is anything we can do for you to make it more comfortable, please do not hesitate to ask any of our charming cabin crew. Thank you for your attention and again welcome on board. Alright, so that's done. Now we are 5 minutes before our departure time. That means we can start the APU without any noise violations. And then let's go right into the load sheet. So zero fuel weight 69.9 and we had 69.4, so we are 500 kilos heavier. That's okay. So, CG 27.1, that is correct. And that's a takeoff CG of 26.8. So let's update the takeoff data. Slightly different data. Alright, in any case, the load sheet is checked, fuel in tanks is okay, and takeoff weight 82.2 is okay as well. Lovely, then we can update this. So flaps 2 up trim 0.4 and 46 degrees. Alright, speeds 143, 148, 149. That's what we had previously already, so that's pretty much all there is to it. Okay, cool. So then we are done with this, and we can go ahead and contact ground. Okay, so APU is available. Düsseldorf delivery, Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, request startup and pushback.
Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, you are on the clearance frequency. Contact ground
Yes,
for
because
startup
you
and
need to
pushback
give me a
request.
hand off. Roger. That's because you need to hand me off, my friend. Düsseldorf ground, Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, gate Bravo 09er, request pushback and startup.
Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, pushback and startup approved, face north.
Pushback and startup approved, facing north, Condor 1 Alpha Zulu. Okay, before start checklist. Park and brake. Set, takeoff speeds and thrust, V1 143, VR 148, V2 149, flex 46. Windows. Closed, bacon, tasty. Before start checklist complete. Ground from flight deck. So, pushback approved facing north, park and brake is still set. Roger, facing north, release park and brake. Brake released. Okay, start on the pushback and we're standing by for your clearance to start the engines. So, off block at 49, that's 15 seconds early. That's a wonderful job, my friend. And here we go. So I've got to say that was a very, very good pre-flight. And ultimately we pushed just about on time. Boarding finished at the right moment. That's how things are supposed to go. That's really how things are supposed to go. In the real world, we'd probably have been too late at the aircraft because the security control takes longer because everyone is departing at this time of the day. And, well... something else would probably have happened as well. If nothing else, then we would probably just have gotten a slot. Oh yes, I know my Europe. There is just no on-time flying during the peak hours in the summer. It doesn't work. Okay, so we're pushing into Papa 4 over here, facing north. So we can delay the engine start a tiny bit, but I think we should be ready now. So, ground flight deck, we are starting engines 1 and 2 in that sequence. Clear 1 and 2. Engine 1 start. We don't need to rush anyway, because earliest airborne is at 0400. Düsseldorf opens at 6 o'clock. Man, it's a long pushback. But we probably got to keep clear of the entry over here, because there are a couple free gates here. I wouldn't be surprised if those get used pretty soon by inbound traffic. We have a good start on engine number 1, starting engine number 2. Clear 2. Engine 2 start. Yep, what did I tell you? Right onto the line. Okay, pushback complete. Set brakes. Brake set. So engine start is going pretty well. And here we go. Generator is online, start valve is closed. Alright, we have 2 good engine starts. Prepare the aircraft for taxi. See you on the right hand side, please, and have a wonderful day. Cheers. So there's the tuck, there's the tow bar. So we'll have about 6 minutes to get to the runway to be the first to go airborne. It's just lovely that it's daylight already at this time of the day. That's the beauty of flying in summer. Okay, so there's the wing walker, there's the other wing walker. Hey, one of them should be dead. There is one too many. But okay, clear signal is seen. So after start, checklist please. Anti-ice, off, ECAM status, checked, pitch trim is at 27.1%, rudder trim, neutral, after start, checklist complete. Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, request taxi.
Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, pushback and startup approved. Face north.
No, we had that. Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, request taxi. Let's see if that gets any better.
Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, taxi to runway 23 left via Papa 4, Mike.
Taxi to runway 23 left via Papa 4 and Mike. Condor 1 Alpha Zulu. Clear on the left side, clear on the right side. Lights are on, brake released. So heavy aircraft, we do need some thrust to get moving. Brake check. Pressure 0. 5 minutes till we can be airborne. That means takeoff clearance in 4.5 minutes. That's looking pretty good. So the plan is to get the aircraft onto Mike and then we can do the flight control check over there. Look at how long the plane takes to accelerate here. 30% N1 and it's barely accelerating. You really feel the weight of those 208 people in the back. So turning right into the sun. That's why I like the A330 sunshades. You just pull them down a bit and that's it. Okay, clear left side and clear right side. Okay, flight control check. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Rudder. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Okay, I have no changes to the takeoff briefing. Everything's as we discussed it. The birds are hopefully still sleeping. So squawk is in. Alright, the cabin is ready already. Taxi checklist please. Flight controls, checked. Flap setting, config 2. Radar and predictive wind shear, on and auto. Engine mode selector. Norm, ECAM memo. Takeoff, no blue. Taxi checklist complete. Okay, so if anything happens, then we'll just go straight ahead to 25 miles. 3000 keeps us safe. Northern traffic pattern to come back for an ILS approach onto runway 23 left, okay? Apart from that, nothing special, nothing non-standard. Tower 1835 or 18305 is already pre-selected. That sounds pretty good overall. So the takeoff clearance can come in a minute. It'll probably be a minute late. Nah, bad efficiency. Not German at all. This is not a real ops any longer. It's amazing how the airplane actually slows down when you go to idle. At lightweight, they are so overpowered that they accelerate on idle, but up here at those 80-something tons, you feel it. You do feel it. Of course, it doesn't help that we'll be going uphill for a bit.
Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, contact tower on 118.305 so long.
118.305, Condor 1 Alpha Zulu. Düsseldorf Tower, Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, ready for departure. So, the time is perfect.
Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, Düsseldorf Tower, runway 23 left, winds 285 at 7, cleared for takeoff.
Approaching
Runway
2,
left, clear for
3,
takeoff, Condor
left.
1 Alpha Zulu. Cabin crew, prepare for departure. Lineup checklist, please. Takeoff runway 23 left, Lima 1. TCAS. TARA, PAX 1 and 2, off. Lineup checklist complete. Are you ready for a rolling takeoff? I take that to be a yes.
On runway 23 left.
Takeoff. Man flags 46, SRS, runway, auto thrust blue. Thrust set. Knots, check. V1, rotate. Positive climb, gear up. Enough, checked. So, airborne at 01.5. That's a minute wasted. No German efficiency here. Thrust climb, climb, auto thrust.
Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, contact departure on 128.655.
128.655, Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, bye bye. Lang radar, good morning, Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, passing 1,800, climbing 5,000.
Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, Düsseldorf departure identified.
Good. So, we got a 3,000 foot restriction to meet down here. But I think you should be able to make it, just about. It's a beautiful look on Düsseldorf down here. And look at this, man. I have a feeling I know what the title picture is going to be.
Düsseldorf departure cleared direct. So.
Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, direct to Betzo. That's lovely. And we just about made the 3,000 as well. Okay, so to Betzo. And insert. So, flap 0. Speed checked. Flaps 0. And update the direct, please. Still not cleared for any higher altitude though. Full vertical speed 1000. Speed vertical speed. Well, let's go on a terrain here. Flying into this direction at this altitude, it could matter. And after all, we can see the weather anyway. Not that there would be any. So, very nice direct. Exactly outside of the city. And just look at this. Alt star. Condor 1 Alpha Zulu maintaining 5,000 feet. Looks like he doesn't care. Let's not descend here. Okay, well, if we're just flying straight ahead, then let's just turn the autopilot on. AP1. The only problem we have now is that the longer we stay at that altitude, the harder it will be to reach Doden at flight level 250 or above. Might have to tell ATC that we're unable. Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, we need further climb now or we will be unable to meet the Doden restriction. Disregard that flashing QNH.
Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, climb altitude 3,000 feet.
Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, say again.
Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, climb altitude flight level 330.
Climb flight level 330, Condor 1 Alpha Zulu. Well, we'll work on that phraseology, will we? First time climb alt 33,000 blues, that's done that. Standard cross check, passing level 50 now. Checked. So, acceleration flow pattern is complete. And with that we have done about everything we could. So we don't need that chrono anymore. We do have the elapsed timer down here. That's running perfectly well. And now comes the difficult task, meeting the Doden restriction. I think what we're gonna do, let's try cost index 0. Is that gonna help? No, flight level 218. That's even worse. And we can put that CI back in. Let's see, level 250. We need 70 miles. And we have, well, 50 miles. No, I see no way we're gonna make that. Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, we will be unable to reach level 250 at Doden.
Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, climb flight level 330.
Roger, climbing level 330, Condor 1 Alpha Zulu. Okay, it seems he doesn't care. Or he probably didn't understand me. Either way, it doesn't matter for us. Okay, so might need a little bit of anti-ice going through this. Or not, 17 degrees, okay. Easy going. So, what does the rest of our flight plan say? ETA at 0715. And the schedule 0720. Lovely, so we're going to be just about on time. That is perfect. So let's keep our passengers seated until we are through those clouds over there. Okay then, clear and copy please.
Dear guests, we are now at a safe altitude, and I am pleased to inform you that the use of electronic devices is now allowed. You may also connect to our onboard Wi-Fi service if you wish. Thank you for your attention, and enjoy your flight.
Okay, so cruise level 350, optimum 340, maximum 361. I guess that's quite an easy decision to make. We'll climb to level 350. So, ATC com, connection, notification, echo, delta, uniform, and notify. Okay. Next ATC Edu. Nice. Well, my friends, we're past the clouds. Let's release our passengers. It's calm up here anyway. Okay, and then I'd say we're up and on the way, and I will see you all a little bit later on approach. descending towards Rhodes, and ATC has cleared us for the Kodak 2 Golf arrival, which is a rather lengthy and protracted one, but let's go ahead and have a very quick look. As first note though, I do absolutely not intend to actually fly that thing. So this is what it looks like, with that long DME arc and then joining the final. Beautiful if you're flying with a student pilot who could do a little bit of raw data stuff over here, but absolutely nothing that we are going to do in standard lineups. Instead, I intend to fly the visual approach towards runway 24. We can already see the airport just up here, slightly on the left of our airplane. However, I am going to fly a little bit closer because we have the Turkish border nearby. And, well, since the
Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, contact Rhodes, approach on 118.25.
118.25, Condor 1 Alpha Zulu. Rhodes approach, Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, passing level 150, descending level 60, inbound codec.
Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, Rhodes approach identified. Good morning, expect the visual runway 24 approach into Diagoras.
Expecting visual approach runway 24, Condor 1 Alpha Zulu. Okay, sounds excellent. So, as I was just about to say, a couple of those islands do belong to Turkey, so I want to play it safe here and better not accidentally fly into Turkey. That has a tendency not to be too healthy to your career. So, visual approach runway 24. We can just look at the VOR approach chart over here for the VOR Yankee, which is the one we've planned. You can see the Greek-Turkish border is just over here. It's around about 4 nautical miles from the airport. So when we fly the downwind, we really gotta be in 2.5 miles here in order to make it without things getting expensive. So this is Turkey and this is Greece. Now, for the approach itself, basically have the airport inside over here, so let's request the visual approach straight away. Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, airport inside, request visual approach.
Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, cleared for the visual approach runway 24 at Diagoras.
Cleared visual approach runway 24, Condor 1 Alpha Zulu. Perfect, that's what I wanted to hear. So, open descent, let's maintain that speed please, and then we can go all the way down to 1,500 feet. Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, request QNH.
Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, QNH 1010.
QNH 1010, Condor 1 Alpha Zulu. So, set QNH. QNH 1010 cross-check, passing 11,300 now. Alright, let's quickly do the briefing, and only thereafter we are going to do the explanation of how to fly the visual. So, starting on your side here. No star, visual approach, that means we can delete the minimum as well. So, clear minimum, because we do have the field inside already. Okay, go around, we'll follow the published missed approach of the VOR Yankee, and there is nothing special or non-standard in here. So then let's go ahead and see about the extra fuel and time. Half an hour, 1,100 kilos. Lovely. Okay, cool. So, heading. We'll just keep flying straight into the direction of the airport here to avoid the Turkish border. Now, the approach will be a visual approach, flight directors off but on, config full, right and downwind, standard by the FCOM, and we'll turn
Captain,
final,
cabin is ready.
well, roundabout at
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now on our final approach
45
into
seconds
Diagoras.
from the downwind.
At this time, we kindly ask you to turn off
brake.
all electronic devices and
Now
stow
what are we
them
going to
until
do?
we arrive at the gate. Please ensure your tray tables are
Maximum
put away.
reverse, low order
Your
brake,
seats
the
are
gate
in
the
their
runway
full
to the
upright
left,
position
and
your
we have
seatbelts
no
are fastened.
specials, nothing
Our Condor
non-standard
staff on
here.
the ground will provide
Any
you with
questions?
information regarding your connecting flights.
No?
Thank you
I
for
like
your
it.
cooperation.
So, constraints are selected, we don't need LS, and we've got GPS primary, and the mode selector is in norm. Wonderful, so that's our 10 checks complete. Do you have any questions for the briefing? No? I like it. Threats, train could be one, so let's turn the train display on over here. Okay, cool. So, let's go ahead and clean up the flight plan here. I did do a little bit of building already, so let's go direct PBD01. So that's somewhere over there on the downwind. That's a 4 mile downwind, so we'll just wait a little bit until we're actually on a nice little line here. And then we can insert the Fox Delta 24 Yankee behind that. Oh, lovely. Can't insert it. Okay. So, insert, then Fox Delta 24 Yankee right behind it. Here we go. Okay, so with that the visual is entered in our FMS. However, we will take it even lower than that. This is literally just to get a little bit better guidance here. So, heading. There's our airport inside. Might have to help the airplane a bit. Let's go full speed brake. Activate approach phase. So, select the 230. Okay, and this is actually looking quite good. So in the meantime, do we have an approach checklist here? Documents, so approach checklist, barrel ref, QNH 1010, seatbelts on minimum is not needed, auto brakes low, and engine mode selector norm. Approach checklist completed. Alright, nice. So, nice 2 mile downwind. Let's turn on to 060 and let's make that a track. I might actually have turned a little bit inside of the routing here. Let's open the turn up a bit, 055. And then you can give me an extended center line, please, to the missed approach point. 064. Insert. Full heading. And heading. Manage speed. Flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1. Okay, so there's the airport at the end of the runway. We want to start the timing. The timer is prepared. Okay, speed alt star. So Heinz, your ATC please. Okay, and we're at the beam position now, 45 seconds. Runway heading 060 and we can take over manually. So, flight director's off, the bird is on, we'll keep auto thrust engaged for now. So at 35 seconds we'll go conf 2, and at 45 seconds we'll turn final. 2.5 miles offset, that's wonderful. Okay, 35 seconds, flaps 2. Speed check, flaps 2. And 45 seconds, set runway track. So, runway track 240 set, gear down. Flaps 3. Speed checked. Flaps 3. Flaps full. Speed check. Flaps full. And here we are. So, turning base. Runway is inside. We are on 3 wides on the puppies. But that's what the base leg is good for. And then we can turn final. Okay, set go around altitude. 4000 set. Right, there's our field. We're now on the puppy. And that's looking awesome.
Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, contact Diagoras Tower on 118.2.
Okay, landing checklist.
Contacting
Become
Diagoras
normal,
Tower on
landing mode blue. Landing
118.2.
checklist
Condor 1
complete.
Alpha Zulu.
So, very nice. That's what I love those Greek airports for.
Diagoras Tower, Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, morning. We're
Approaching.
established on the visual approach for
2-4.
runway 24.
Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, Diagoras Tower, wind is 245 at 8. Runway 24, clear to land.
Runway 24, cleared to land. Condor 1 Alpha Zulu.
So, lovely, we're clear to land. Looks like they've learned from our past visuals where the landing clearance came so late, because they made the initial call first. So very good to see that Sane Tensions is learning. But that's exactly why I'm doing this.
300. $200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, retard.
Spoilers, reverse green, decel. $70 knots.
1,500 meters remaining.
Manual brakes. Lovely. So, my ATC.
Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, welcome to Diagoras. Contact ground on 121.705.
121.705, Condor 1 Alpha Zulu.
Switching to ground on 121.
Diagoras ground, good morning. Condor 1 Alpha Zulu, request taxi to gate 5.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Diagoras ground,
welcome
Condor
to
1 Alpha
Diagoras.
Zulu, cleared
We
at
have
runway
just landed
24.
safely.
Why are you still on
And
the
I must
comms?
say,
I
that
turned
was an
you off.
amazing landing by Captain Emmanuel. It would definitely
Condor
be
1 Alpha
rated a
Zulu,
9 out of 10.
Diagoras ground, taxi to gate
Before we
12 via
taxi to the
Delta,
gate, I'd like to share a
Foxtrot,
fun
Juliet,
fact about this
Bravo,
beautiful
Juliet.
city.
Good day.
Nope.
Did you know that Diagoras is known
Condor
for
1
its
Alpha Zulu,
stunning
taxi to
beaches
2B
and
via
rich
Delta,
history?
Foxtrot, Juliet.
It's a
Good day.
perfect destination for relaxation and exploration.
Okay, gate 2 via Delta Foxtrot Juliet, Condor 1 Alpha Zulu.
Final parking position. The local time here is 9:06
It's interesting, I turned the AI first
On behalf
officer
of Captain
off when we
Emmanuel,
passed
First
about
Officer Heinz,
60
and the
knots.
entire crew.
Condor 1
Wish
Alpha
you a
Zulu,
wonderful
taxi to
stay
gate
and
2 via
safe
Delta,
travels onward.
Foxtrot, Juliet.
Gate 2 via Delta Foxtrot Juliet, Condor 1 Alpha Zulu. Yeah, they gotta improve that a little bit. And over the past couple of days, Sane Tensions got a little wonky with the taxi clearances. But the good thing is they're actively working on it, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna be fixed soon. Probably even before this video releases, honestly. After landing checklist. Radar and predictive wind shear off. After landing checklist complete. Okay, so it turned out to be gate number 2. We requested number 5, but 2 is fine. Gate 2. No follow me needed. Handling by Swissport. Yes, I was about to say the S word. Alright, starting APU. Lighting just looks awesome on the airplane right now. That just looks really, really good. Okay, so number 2 is over there, I think. So here's gate 1. Lights off, please. And gate 2. So lights are off. And stop. So APU bleed is on, parking brake is set, shutdown. Cabin crew, all doors in park. Alright, running down, monitoring, and yeah, that looks good. So, beacon off. Yeah, that was very important just now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now parked at the gate here at Diagoras.
Okay,
On behalf
parking
of Captain
checklist.
Emmanuel, First Officer Heinz, and the entire crew, I would like to thank you for flying with Condor Flugdienst Flight 1622 today.
Off.
We hope you have a wonderful stay here,
off, fuel
a
pumps
beautiful
off,
vacation,
parking
or
checklist
safe
complete.
travels to your next destination. The weather here is a lovely 26 degrees Celsius, perfect for enjoying the local sights. We look forward to welcoming you back on board in the future. Goodbye and take care.
Alright, and with that we've made it to our destination, so let's turn off the transponder. Fuel. Again, that's bugged unfortunately, but let's see. Fuel on board is 3,720. We had 12.5, so I think that fuel usage is quite accurate, but let's go ahead and calculate that. So 12,500 minus 3,720 is 8,780 kilos used, and we were supposed to use 8.9 plus taxi, so 9.1. So we saved 300 kilos against the flight plan, but that's absolutely the visual approach that we've just flown. Now if you take into consideration that 100 kilos fuel costs $200, then we can say that we have absolutely saved the company $600 just by flying that visual approach. So there is a company message down here. Arrival message, arrived at 0711 and the schedule was 20. So, that's some pretty good numbers. Well, and with that I think we reached the end of today's video. I do hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. I absolutely love flying to those Greek islands, and I absolutely love this type of flying. If you do as well, let me know in the comments underneath the video. If you liked today's air traffic control, be sure to check out Same Tensions AI using the link in the pinned comment and in the video description below. And with all of that out of the way, thank you very much for watching. As always, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you for watching. Be sure to walk a little bit better than these guys do. And with that, I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.